This is the United States of America, one of the most powerful empires in human history. When we look back at the great empires of the past, none had the global reach and influence that the U.S. does today, especially considering how geographically distant it is from the rest of the world. Despite this, the U.S. has established a level of global control unmatched by any previous empire. It did not rise from a pre-existing empire, it became one on its own. Since 1890, the United States has remained the world's largest economy. With only about 5% of the world's population, it holds nearly 30% of global wealth. It accounts for 20% of global manufacturing and 40% of the world's total military spending. Let us be clear, this video is not anti-America or blindly pro-America. Our goal is to present neutral facts to help people better understand the reality of America's global position. Among the many factors behind the US's rise to power, geography plays the most crucial role. The geography of America is so naturally advantageous that any major civilization developing here was destined to become a global superpower. Let us explain why. One of the most important contributors to U.S. dominance is its river system, particularly the Mississippi River. Originating near Lake Itasca in Minnesota and flowing into the Gulf of Mexico, the Mississippi is one of the longest river systems in the world. It connects with over 30 other rivers and lakes across the U.S., including the Missouri and Ohio rivers. This river network spans over 4,000 kilometers and is fully navigable, meaning its depth, width, and flow allow easy movement of ships. Transportation via water is 10 to 30 times cheaper than rail or road, making it incredibly efficient for moving goods. This network supplies countless factories and farms along its banks, helping them transport goods affordably to ports and international markets. Thanks to this river system, 1.2 million jobs have been created in the surrounding regions. The Mississippi Basin includes some of the most fertile agricultural lands in the world. The dry western plains are ideal for wheat, while the humid eastern regions are perfect for corn and soybeans. As a result, the U.S. is the world's largest producer of corn, the second largest producer of soybeans, and the fourth largest producer of wheat. A staggering 90% of all U.S. agricultural exports pass through the Mississippi River system. Every year, over 630 million tons of goods are transported along this route. The only river system that rivals it in scale is China's Yangtze River, through which 2.6 billion tons of goods are transported annually, accounting for over 1% of China's GDP. This shows how vital river systems are to the world's two largest economies.
Geography again plays a key role through America's coastline. The US has the 8th longest coastline in the world, around 20,000 kilometers, which is 5 times longer than the entire African continent's usable trade coastline. It borders both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, providing access to Europe, Africa, and Asia without having to pay taxes or tariffs to any intermediary nations. This gives the US a unique and strategic global trade advantage. Additionally, the US is surrounded by vast oceans. From the east, the Atlantic spans over 10,000 kilometers before reaching Europe. This isolation makes direct attacks on US soil extremely difficult. For example, during World War II, Germany cancelled its plan to invade Britain because it couldn't cross even the 33-kilometer English Channel. Compare that to the thousands of kilometers separating the US from other continents, and it becomes clear why no foreign power has ever successfully invaded the mainland US in over 200 years. Even during the Pearl Harbor attack, it was the US naval fleet in Hawaii that was hit, not the continental US. One major geographical vulnerability is Cuba, located just off the US coast and near the Mississippi River's export path. Although Cuba itself is not powerful enough to challenge the US, it could be used by a foreign adversary. This nearly happened in 1962, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the Soviet Union tried to deploy nuclear missiles in Cuba. The US responded with a major intervention and later imposed sanctions that remain in place to this day. The fear was that a militarist or allied Cuba could block American trade routes, posing a serious threat to the US economy. Another massive advantage lies in America's natural resources. The US is the world's largest producer of oil and natural gas. It meets 90% of its energy needs domestically or through Canada, making it largely energy independent. Even if OPEC were to boycott the US, it would have minimal effect. The country is also among the top producers of key agricultural and mineral resources. It has the fifth largest gold reserves and fourth largest iron ore reserves in the world. These resources help fuel both its domestic economy and export markets. There's no doubt that the foresight and planning of America's founding fathers played a huge role in the nation's success. For over 100 years, the US has faced no existential threats and has never suffered from widespread shortages. With a strong geographical position, abundant resources, and a powerful economy, it has had a clear head start. Of course, not everything is perfect. Social issues like violence, drug abuse, racism, and rising unemployment continue to challenge the US. But even these problems don't negate the overwhelming strategic advantages that make the United States a unique global power. If you found this video informative,